challenge here, but pitching it to the leadership was the biggest challenge, as we all discussed. People are not that acceptable to the AI technology, so yeah, that's been a very big challenge, but somehow I was, after a lot of back and forth, I was able to pitch it to the leadership, and then that's how we just started with this project. We've implemented it, but are adding more features. So, I'll just quickly go over my introduction. So I am a senior data engineer at LG Electronics, and I have around 10 years of experience in this field of data engineering, data analytics, data science. I've been partially working on all of them. And then I have led a team of data engineers. I've published around 18 research papers, one book chapter, and then I've also developed some Python libraries which are extensively being used in the field of, in all the three fields, I would say, data analytics, engineering, and science. So yeah, that's a briefing about me. Alright, so this project that I came up with, this was basically a problem that we were facing, that I was facing in my day-to-day life, which is that I work as a senior data engineer. I try to focus mostly on the coding part, but I'm expected to have an in-depth knowledge of the data that I'm dealing with. I mean, don't get me wrong that I'm not interested in getting the knowledge of the data that is there. I'm definitely interested, but I can just grasp so much. I don't have that kind of memory to understand and understand the data, understand the logic behind it for all the data sets that are there in the company. So it was getting really difficult, and I would say at times my performance was judged based on that I don't know the data enough. So that was one problem. I mean, if you see, my memory is not that great, still I'm carrying papers in my hand. So that was always a problem for me, so that's why I came up with this chatbot idea, and I thought of using the AI technology. So basically, the problem that it had was that leadership was scared of the security of their data, and they were not very open to adapting to all of this. So I had certain solutions in mind, which is what I pitched to them. And this chatbot can be used by technical and non-technical teams to get a deeper insight of the data in different ways. It's not just the insight that they get. They can access the query that is being used for it. They can understand the workflow that is being put into the system to, there are various DAGs, Airflow DAGs, or various other processes, Python scripts that are running. So those are the stuff that is needed to understand the workflow. And the non-technical team does not have an idea how that works. So that was one place that this chatbot was helpful, and they can get a better grasp of the workflow and the way things are being handled, the way data is being handled. So first of all, the thing was that I told the leadership that this particular chatbot is just meant for the organization. It is specific to the organization, and it will take care of all the security concerns that we have. So for this, the idea that I came up with was to have a personalized profile for all the people who would use it. And everybody cannot use this chatbot because I've used Firebase and I'm using their authentication. Each one has their own profile, their own chat history, and all of it. It's like totally personalized for one person, and everybody doesn't have access to it. Only the admin can grant access to it. So that's the kind of approach that I had for addressing security concerns. I won't bore you with the slides. I'll take you directly to the chatbot interface. This is the chatbot interface. These are some of the pics that are there. So when you compare it with the other chatbots that are there, the public ones that are available, which is ChatGPT and Gemini, there are certain things which are different. It seems like it should be similar, but there are certain advantages of using this one. So first of all, security, as I mentioned, that's one of the major things. The other thing is ChatGPT, Gemini, all of platform query database. So you can't be sure that the query is absolutely correct and it will run over there. But this is the difference that comes in over here, that this chatbot, it creates the query, shows you the query so that you don't have a doubt that the data that is being accessed is coming from a different data. So you'll have a surety that, okay, this is double checking sort of a thing. You see the query and then you'll also see the insights. The insights are available in form of text and also in the form of graphs. So if you see the last towards the extreme right, there's a graph that gets plotted. And this graph I've used Plotly to generate the Python code, run it in an environment, and then generate this plot. So that is the mechanism that I'm using over here. So this is a video of the app that I'm working on. So if you see, the video is not working. Alright, I'll just explain how the video works. So first of all, the personalized profiling. So there is a chat history which is being maintained for each and every user who has access. And this chat history, it's being kept in the database using Firebase, and Firestore is the platform that I'm using. So that's where the chat history goes, the login credentials, and all of that part, which is personalized to a user. All of that enters into the Firebase, and from there it's accessed. It's pretty quick because it's a NoSQL database, so that's the advantage. That is why I'm using it. So that's one thing. And then once you log in, you can enter your questions, whatever the questions are. So you have the chat history. So if there's a question that you come up with daily, you want to check the daily sales, how they're going, you can just retrieve it from the chat history. And it's pretty quick because of the NoSQL database that is being used behind. So that is one thing. And then the plot that comes up. That plot can be, it appears to be a small one, in the previous slide if you see, it appears to be a small one, but you can zoom into it, you can click on it, and then you can zoom in and see the exact stats. So that's pretty helpful for the teams which are not technical to get a deeper understanding. There have been multiple use cases where I would say it has benefited the teams a lot. So first of all, the data engineering team, they're expected to have answers to all of the data that is there, which is just next to impossible. It's just way too much. So for that purpose, the non-technical teams and the technical teams, they can just access the data, get an understanding of it without bothering the data engineering team. So in a way, that is just helping with the productivity of the data engineering team. They can do more work on cost optimization, on space optimization, and they can enhance their pipelines to the next level instead of just going after the data. So yeah, that is an important part, definitely, but they can focus more on this side. So that is how it helps the data engineering team. Next, I would say the OX team, that is the operations research team, and the ones that basically take care of user experience. They had pretty good exposure to this, and they were able to get insights. Accordingly, they were able to produce user experience coupons related to that to enhance the experience of the users that were coming in. So they had a pretty good hold of it. They saw an increase in the productivity and in the sales. So that was one way that this was very helpful. The second thing is that here there is real-time data. As soon as the data is getting, the data first of all is an accurate one which is coming in, and then the data which is getting updated in real time. So you have real-time answers to your questions. It's not that it's some old data that's getting in, and then you also have a grasp of, as soon as the SQL query comes in, you have a grasp of which table it's coming from. So that way you can be sure of what it is about. So yeah, that's it. And then for this, I used the chat history that we have over here. So if you see, the chat history has charts, and it can also have other kinds of images. All of that is there. But the thing is, what I'm storing So I would say the queries, we didn't face a lot of problem with the query generation that was coming in because the Gemini model is pretty good in converting the natural language to text. Yeah, sometimes what I faced was that the query was a little more complex, however it could have been done in a simpler way. But I would say the queries were pretty accurate and gave good results.